Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had a wonderful Wednesday so far. Today we're going to be delivering a very short and sweet Cardano update video. I am traveling later on, so I won't have time to make the video later. So we're just going to keep it short and sweet. We're really going to be going over a lot of the news taking place within the Cardano ecosystem, and there is a lot happening, guys. Cardano is absolutely killing it, and people just are not recognizing this given the kind of slumpy price action. And that's where we're going to start off this video. We're going to be looking and talking about the price action because right now people are trying to figure out what happens. And we've been stressing, and we showed you a clip of Charles himself acknowledging the fact that markets are very heavily tethered right now to geopolitical and macroeconomic events. Your TA kind of goes somewhat out the window. And we're kind of trying to figure out, okay, well, when are we going to recover? One thing that I'm sure about is the fact that we are going to recover. Not just Cardano, but crypto in general has a very bright future. But right now, you know, we're in a very risk-off environment, and crypto is deemed a risky speculative asset class, and people will not sit through the volatility, certainly your big institutions. Right now, it's a very trader-driven market in the sense that it's low volume. And traders are essentially moving the price up and down based off long and shorts. You also have an element of dip buying and scared retail leaving the market. So that's really what's driving markets at the moment. We will see another surge. We are continuing to build, and things look really good from where I'm sat. The only thing that is not looking so hot is the price. Now, we are seeing a bit of an uptick across the board for the crypto space currently. In my opinion, this is still relief. I'm not going to try and time the bottom. You guys know that we timed the bottom perfectly over here. This was a video back then of me talking about it. I'm not necessarily going to try and do that this time. The reason we got this so perfectly accurate last time and we saw 200+% run from that was because we knew what was around the corner, the Alonso hard fork and so on and so forth, and then we saw a real cooling off of that. I didn't actually expect the price action to do what it has done here. However, we deal with what comes. You know, we're not the we're not the ultimate decider of what way the markets go. We're just taking our best kind of probability-based guess on things. Yes, we do get things wrong. We also get things right. That's called being an investor and a trader at large. And the key is getting more things right than you do wrong. So we're not going to try and time the bottom here. We're going to keep our eyes peeled. We need to start invalidating this downtrend. We are clearly still in a downtrend. We're seeing lower highs and lower lows continuously. We've failed a number of levels of support, which has got a lot of people thinking right now for Cardano, okay, well, there's not a great deal of support in this kind of region underneath us. However, I would argue the only reason that we've really failed this support in the first place is given the sort of geopolitical and macroeconomic events that are taking place. So TA is kind of somewhat gone out the window. I have a lot of traders, and I've been doing quite a bit of trading myself recently with perpetual futures and so on. That tell me, you know, you can see everything in the charts, but I would happen to disagree. And I also think that, you know, I think, yes, charts do show signs of things taking place, but I think when you have a kind of macroeconomic event, it kind of crushes a lot of TA goes, it's kind of out the window. So not worried in the slightest. We're looking at Bitcoin. You know, I still ultimately think that we are not going into a multi-year bear market like we historically have. I ultimately think crypto is going to recover. We're at a kind of pinnacle point right now for the crypto space where we've got regulatory clarity coming, certainly in the US, which is a big one. We've got it from from a number of countries around the world, but we're really waiting on the US. And if this goes in crypto's favor, and there's a number of things to suggest that it will, we're going to see the boom resume. And that's what we're anticipating. So let's get into some Cardano news. Regardless of the price action, Cardano holders remain strong. The balance held by holders addresses holding 1 year is at a multi-year high. These holders increased their positions to 10.12 billion ADA, the largest balance since December 11th, 2019. And you can see here, this is what they're referring to. So there's a huge amount of hodlers within Cardano. You know, we know it's one of the most staked cryptos. It's got the best community, in my opinion. So shouts out to you guys watching this video. And ultimately, the price is just not simply reflecting that. And you've got to remember, you have to understand markets if you want to be in these markets daily. A lot of people out there have not got a clue. One reason I sort of know how price is driven is because I am typically a trader. But you can see, you know, markets essentially are made up at the margin. That's new money coming in and out. Let's move on to the next one. We know that Cardano transaction volume is continuously hitting that first spot, or often in that first spot, over Bitcoin and Ethereum, which have been here a lot longer. They have a larger user base and so on and so forth. Lots of people saying this is because of the UTXO model. But still, Cardano is doing brilliantly. It's absolutely killing it, and it is undeniable. This is some more news. We are making Cardano a base currency on Bittreum. As the latest step in our extensive Cardano support, 9 new pairs will be launched with in opposition with ADA starting February 24th at 12 UTC. So that's tomorrow. This is significant. It's another platform, more liquidity for ADA. You know, it all kind of points in the right direction, and they're also doing a lot more with Cardano. What has Bittreum been working on for ADA and Cardano? And it talks about a number of things and the next kind of phase. So what is Bittreum? Bittreum is a exchange, if you will, but they also do a lot more. They kind of offer cryptocurrency services, and they're looking to move in the direction of Cardano. So this is, we're still yet to get listed on many exchanges. It's happening slowly but surely. You just simply cannot deny Cardano for some of the reasons that we've previously mentioned, like the fact that it is the most transacted or consistently first, second, and third in terms of most transacted chain. Meanwhile, lots of big influencers out there, and big cryptocurrency exchanges just choose to ignore it. Doesn't make much sense to me, and shows that there's a real bias and prejudice against it. So that's good news about Bittreum. Let's take a look at the next. This is from Cardano Daily. Now, this is interesting. You guys remember the Milkomedia video that we did, or Milkomedia? I keep getting pulled up for calling it Milkomedia. You know, English people typically don't have to learn and get savvy with other languages. We're very lazy in that aspect. So we're often very unaccommodating to, you know, kind of getting familiar with other words. We kind of, you know, it's typical, you know, we just kind of say the same thing but louder. But this is hugely interesting. We covered what Milkomedia are actually doing. They are essentially taking Cardano cross-chain with their sidechain M1. Now, you can see here, and we kind of went through what was happening. We reviewed the Nomad bridge. You can see you've got Cardano, USD, and World Mobile all within the one wallet. This is huge, and this allows Cardano a whole exposure to the world outside of the cryptocurrency world, outside of the ADA native token world, the kind of Haskell language, so it can connect with EVM. It basically gives it EVM compatibility, which means that the possibilities are endless. When we talk about the likes of DEXs and so on, you could have a cross-chain DEX which has all tokens within it. So it will be essentially, we're now getting into the realms of being real competitors with CEX's centralized exchanges. So this is MuesliSwap, which have really surprised me, guys. MuesliSwap is going from strength to strength. I actually picked up some more milk today, and this was the reason why. MuesliSwap release AMM DEX on Milkomedia sidechain. So MMM, automated market maker, is all that means. Lots of people ask me what that means. It just means automated market maker. DEXs work in a different fashion to your kind of order books, or typically most of them do. We know we've got ADAX that doesn't. They're kind of trying to go down an order book route. So MuesliSwap M1 will become an AMM on Milkomedia or Milkomedia Milk sidechain, and it helps to deploy an AMM much earlier than anticipated by leveraging the capabilities of M1 sidechain. I've actually played around with M1, the Milkomedia's chain. It's very easy to use. It's MetaMask compatible, so I just hooked it up with my MetaMask, configured my MetaMask to it. You know, this is huge, and this is bringing Cardano to the wider world. It gives far more use and utility to ADA. It essentially means, you know, we know that we're getting a lot of total value locked up within our space. It allows value and Cardano to get locked up in other spaces. And yes, you know, lots of people say, okay, well, it's not really ADA. It is, in the sense that it's Cardano on a sidechain. It's almost like wrapped ADA, in a sense, if you will. And of course, that ADA has to reference the actual blockchain, the Cardano blockchain. So things are moving all in the right direction. Here's another one very quickly. Cardano is 47,000 times more energy efficient than Bitcoin, data shows. This is absolutely huge, and certainly something that we really have on our side. Cardano, you just can simply not ignore Cardano right now, guys. It is absolutely killing it, and the price just simply has not reflected that. And that's because it is somewhat trader driven, it is fear driven, it is speculatively driven, and just simply doesn't really represent what's going on here. There is a world-changing technology being built. Jeff Bezos has said, if you want to invest in something that changes the world. You have that opportunity with Cardano, in my opinion. So that's really all I have for you. This was only supposed to be a short and sweet video as I'm traveling. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope everybody is doing well out there. This pump that we're seeing, in my opinion, is nothing to write home about. We are still in a confirmed downtrend. We need to break that convincingly. And ultimately, you know, I'm very confident that crypto is going to go on to make high ground. I don't think we're entering even a year-long bear market. I think, yes, there are trials and tribulations that have already presented themselves within this year, but we will get through them. I was listening to somebody talk about the S&P and talk about markets in general, and he was saying we've really not seen a correction for the past 2 years, given what happened in March 2020. And now we're seeing that, and they typically don't last for a lengthy period of time. They don't last for, you know, sort of years typically, unless we have a real recession or an economic downturn that I think we will be able to avoid, given the what the Fed can and can't do. But essentially, we're seeing a huge rally, and we're seeing a cooling off of that, mixed with geopolitical events. But eventually, we will resume, and the reason being is because people take money off of markets, for really the reason only to redeploy it later at a better entry point, or when there's not as much risk on the table. So that's really all I have for you guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. If you enjoyed the content, like is always appreciated. So as a comment, remember we do have a stake pool, all in is a ticker, and I'll catch you all in the next YouTube video. Thank you very much for watching, guys.